You can get a really awesome hood and cape customization for free in No Man's Sky Outlaws, and I'm also going to show you how to create your very own squadron of ships from the ground up, including getting some max rank pilots to help you in combat. It looks really awesome. There's also a full-blown quest line for this, so let's check that in this video. Now, starting things off, the first thing you'll want to do is to actually unlock the new squadron feature and maybe even recruit one of your first pilots. Reason being is because they don't just help you in combat, but this is also the only way I found out that unlocks the new quest line for you, which also gives you those free cosmetic rewards. So head over to your capital ship. It doesn't matter what class it is, just make sure you unlocked one, and then head over in the big room right here behind the terminal to your fleet management system. And you will notice that there's a brand new option over here to manage your squadron, and you get the option to unlock up to 4 pilot slots that cost from 800 units all the way up to 10,000 for the 4th and final one. So maybe unlock just the first one for now, as that's going to be plenty enough. From this point on, what I recommend doing is to go ahead and search for a trading post. It doesn't matter what planet it is, because this is going to spawn a lot of these ships and also a ton of pilots. If you interact with them, you will notice that there's a new option to recruit them in your squadron. And of course, you will also want to pay close attention to the stats that they have, from the class all the way up to the pilot information and some of the other attributes. These will heavily dictate how useful these pilots will be in combat, so you will want to aim for the maximum rank as much as possible. Now, there doesn't seem to be a full-on correlation between the quality of the ship and the quality of the pilot. Like in most situations, yes, if you get a B-class ship, you will also probably get at a minimum a B-class pilot, but in the system we covered in yesterday's video, which by the way you should totally go ahead and check out, I did manage to get one C-class ship and one A-class ship, but both of them had max rank pilots, so they came up with the maximum stats and some really excellent pilot information. So I think that the class of the ship only dictates the minimum level that pilot will be spawned with, but it can also obviously spawn with higher classes than the one of the ship. Now, once you get at least one of these pilots going, you can either summon them manually at any point, even outside combat, but they also seem to spawn on their own, especially if you just started entering combat or are getting attacked by sentinels or by other pirates, which I think is really awesome. They of course have the yellow trails to make them more distinguished from some of the other ships that might spawn in your screen, because there's gonna be a ton of them when you also have like 4 full pilots flying around. They also seem to deal some pretty okay damage, not the highest even on the max rank ones, but it's still an extra like pressure that you can apply on the enemy, or at least a few more distractions that you can apply so that damage doesn't fully come onto your ship. I think it's really awesome to have them, but most important is the fact that you can actually drive with them in space or planet atmospheres, and they will actually follow you and stay on the screen for a very long time. You can even like perform acrobatics, like do barrel rolls, and they will do that with you, which I think is really awesome. There's a ton of tiny details in the animations and how they actually follow you, so it's pretty high-end and definitely reminds me of the 2015 trailers, if not even better than that. So props to Hello Games for the way they've implemented this. By the way, you can totally check the status of your squadron by heading back to the fleet management system, and now you're gonna see your recruits. You can even, well, maybe just replace them with something else, or just look at the stats and how they evolve over time. But as I've said, once you've unlocked your new squadron and got at least one of these pilots, you can also open up the new quest line called Under a Rebel Star. So what you want to do for this is to head over into any normal star system, as long as it's not a black market one. Just go into any of them and start pulsing around, and just leave it like that. It's going to probably take anywhere between 10 seconds, in my case all the way up to 2 minutes, until you get one of these emergency broadcasts, and you will want to actually stop in your tracks, as there's going to be one of these solar ships that is abandoned and it will spawn in front of you. There's also a message pointing you towards some coordinates, so you will just want to follow the quest line from this point on. It will likely bring you in a different system and to a crashed ship, so you will have to interact with the terminal by the side of it. That also gives you one of these items that you will want to unlock later on. Of course, you will also have to defeat maybe some pirate sentinels, but also get to interact with the rendezvous beacon to bring you to the next location. From this point on, you will simply have to follow the quest line. There's going to be a second fight throughout it against some other invading forces. So obviously this is where that squadron comes into play, and it will definitely help you in these. They do a pretty good job at distracting the enemies, but eventually this will bring you to one of these facilities on, again, a random planet, which will finally give you the coordinates to one of these black market systems in case you haven't found one already, which is also going to be the Outlaw system, the one with the Outlaw space stations. So you can head over inside, and there's only one bit left over here, and that is going to be to talk to some of these random NPCs inside and ask them about the voice of freedom. It took me about 5 or 6 NPCs to talk to, but eventually the 6th one gave me a Shroud of Freedom unlockable hood for absolutely free, and this is basically the second new free customization you can get for your character alongside the cape that you can also get without doing any of these requirements. From this point on, you can simply head over to any of these customizer terminals, and of course, picking the anomaly class, you will notice that the new helmet type has been unlocked right there at the end with number 19. So it looks pretty awesome, and of course it also goes in hand with the new cape that unlocks automatically for everybody who starts in the new update. So you can either use it with a cape or without. I think it looks better with the cape, and both of them are fully customizable and they look really awesome. Now, on a final note, there's also a way to finish the entire quest line. There's still one more step left after getting that hood customization, and that's going to be after you have talked to all of the NPCs and the vendors on that black market station, point at which once you try to exit it, you're going to get an announcement through your ship and also a fake passport that you will have to actually bring to a normal space station in a regular, well, star system, and use it there to cover your tracks. This is especially useful in case during some of these fights you had your reputation affected, or it was decreased too much, or something happened along the lines before the update. So simply bring it to the terminal, and there's going to be 2 new options. I picked the one to disrupt the station records, and this also seems to reset your reputation in this case, but do pay close attention to the fact that this resets your reputation to, well, normal again, so default, which means if you had a higher rank, that's pretty much going to penalize you. I'm pretty sure that these fake passports that you can get throughout these bounty missions or throughout the quest line are there to, reset your reputation in case it's in the negative by too much and you can't bring it back anymore because you fought too many trading ships or you committed too many crimes. But this is pretty much it with the new rewards and the cool new stuff in there. Also pay close attention, of course, to some of the NPCs and vendors that give you quest lines in the black market stations, because there's also some cool new rewards and money making methods. We will cover more in the upcoming days, but for now, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.